are live. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Darby.
And I'm Brooke.
And this is called You've Got Questions.
We've Got Answers.
Where I read the questions and Brooke
answers them.
Yeah, it's great. So this is how it works. You're going to put your questions in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
We're live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yes.
We are going to try to answer them as quickly as possible. It can take about 15 minutes for the questions to be answered once it really starts going.
Yeah. And if you have anyone that is thinking about enrolling in BYU Pathway, tag them, let them know that we're live. We're here to answer questions. Today's the priority deadline, so we're going to be live sort of off and on all day.
Yeah. Brooke's going to try not to talk so fast too.
Yes.
She's a very fast talker. So if she talks too fast, just put a comment in the chat that says slow it down. But really, this is how it's going to work as people are joining. Put your questions in the chat. I will read the questions. We're going to read them from Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And we'll try to answer as many as we can. We don't know everything.
No.
Although you would think we do.
We do know quite a bit,
We really do know quite a bit. We don't know every question, and sometimes we get stumped. But
we hate it, but we kind of love it. Like, I kind of like, can you stump me? Like, I feel like that should be the name of the theme.
It is actually really hard.
Can you stump me?
It is really, really hard. So you're going to put those questions in the chat. We're going to answer. So while we're waiting for everybody to join, let's talk about priority deadline.
Yeah.
What is it and why do we have it?
Love it. So today is the priority deadline. So if you have finished Pathway Connect 103 and you're ready to go on to BYU, Idaho, or Ensign College, today is the last day to get that application started. If you are thinking about being a direct admit student, so skipping Pathway Connect and going right into online certificates and degrees, today is the last day. It is a hard deadline for BYU, Idaho, and Ensign College Online. So you need to make sure that your application is started, and it's the priority deadline for Pathway Connect. So what that means is today is the last day we can guarantee you will have a spot in BYU Pathway come April. Now, we're going to keep the application window open so long as there's still space. We may fill up in certain areas. We typically will fill up in parts of Africa, but until we reach our enrollment cap by area, we will continue to let people in. But if you are interested in BYU, Idaho, or Ensign College Online, today is the last day. You have to have it started. You don't have to have your application finished, but it has to be started. So Rev Thomas is saying, how can I join? So to join BYU Pathway, you're going to go to byupathway.edu. And in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to click Apply for Free. So it's byupathway.edu. In the upper right-hand corner, Apply for Free. That will take you to our admissions page. Once you're on the admissions page, you will be able to learn a little bit more about BYU Pathway. Is starting with Pathway Connect the right decision? Is being direct admit student the right decision? You're going to be able to look at that and then start your application. Now, you don't need to be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to start your application, but you do need a free church account. And it's really just a single sign-on.
Yeah, it's like when you use your Google account to sign into things that aren't Google. I do that all the time.
Every day.
Yeah, it's not anything other than that. It's just a single way to sign on so that you keep those that password and username safe.
Yep. So Rev Thomas just has a quick follow-up. Is there postgraduate courses? So no. BYU Pathway has certificates, associates, and bachelor's degrees, and it was really designed to help people get that first university degree. But you can have a degree from another university and come get one from BYU, Idaho, or Ensign College.
Okay, we're going to keep going here. How can I transfer my credits from institute that I took during BYU Pathway to BYU Idaho? The cool thing is they don't have to, right?
Yeah,
they transfer automatically.
They should just be part of your transfer. You know, they'll see that you were enrolled, that you received credit for those classes, and they should just come right along with you. Now, Karina, if you're having issues with that, please let us know. You can send us a direct message, and we'd be happy to help.
Perfect. Okay, so I think that maybe the question here is, do you help people that only need a few credits to finish graduating?
Yes. So BYU, Idaho, and Ensign College have a very generous transfer credit policy. And so we would love to help you finish that degree. So if you only have a few credits left, you can do that. So as part of your application to BYU, Idaho, and Ensign College, you're going to have the opportunity to submit your transfer or your transcripts for transfer credit evaluation. So yes, if you have previous credits, we will do our best to make sure that those credits transfer. Now, it can take a little while. So sometimes it can take 3 to 6 weeks to go through all of those transfer credits because there's quite a few people who are transferring in credits. But you can get a free unofficial evaluation on the website by going to byupathway.edu/admissions/transfer-credits. And so that URL is here on the screen. That's where you can go for an unofficial evaluation. And if you are tuning in and thinking, oh, my friend would love this, tag them in this in a comment, because what's great about this is this will be recorded and available after the fact on Facebook and YouTube. So make sure that you're tagging folks. If you're watching and you're a current student, what are you studying? Where do you live? We love meeting you guys.
Yeah. Okay. So we just had we have a few more questions that have come in, Brooke. But like Rev Thomas said, hey, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Another thank you, another question we were able to answer. So that's why Brooke and I do this. We do this not because we know every answer, but because we found that we needed a place where we can answer questions and that you can come and ask questions. So looking forward to the new semester or the new block this
That's
April.
Awesome.
We are
I love it.
Okay. So here's another question. Can someone who's in 11th grade attend BYU-Pathway? So let's talk about who can and kind of what the restrictions are. There's very few.
Yeah, very few restrictions. So in order to start BYU-Pathway, there's a couple of different things. One, you either need to have a high school or secondary school diploma in order to get started, or be over the age of 18. So if you're over the age of 18, you don't need a high school diploma or secondary school diploma, GED, none of that is required if you are 18 or older. So while it's not designed to have someone who is in high school attend BYU-Pathway, if they're over the age of 18, they could start while still in high school. But it's not something we recommend. We really like to have people really focus on their schoolwork and make sure that they have enough time to really do well and to succeed.
Yeah. So this, I think, is just kind of like a follow-up from what you were just saying.
Yep. So you do not need to have a high school diploma, a secondary school diploma, or a GED in order to enroll in BYU-Pathway. So if you are over the age of 18, we will help you get a university degree without those things.
Okay. We're going to keep going here. This is kind of like if I need some help using Canvas, where can somebody turn to get a little bit of help, Brooke?
Yeah. So every student has a mentor. So it's another student who is enrolled through BYU-Pathway. They might be in Pathway Connect 103 or an online degree student, but they're going to be able to help you do a walkthrough of Canvas. In your new student orientation, there's information about Canvas. And so you will use Canvas during Pathway Connect and throughout your certificate and degree program.
Okay. We are doing great on questions. It can take us about 10 to 15 minutes to answer a question. We will go as fast as we can.
Yes.
But we try to answer as quickly as possible. Do you know about any accommodations for those with disabilities, Brooke, or where they can find out more information?
There is support. If you are a current student, I would start with your mentor. And if you're not sure who your mentor is, if you go to byupathway.edu and in the lower right-hand corner, there's a button that says Need Help, and you'll be able to log in and ask who your mentor is, and their contact information will be given. If you are not a current student, there is, one second, I'm going to look this up real fast because I actually asked one of my colleagues about this.
Okay. So if you're just joining while Brooke looks up that question, continue to put your questions in the chat. We will answer those as quickly as possible. It's taking about 5 to 6 minutes right now. We don't have too many that we're getting overwhelmed, but keep putting your questions in the chat. Really kind of anything BYU-Pathway related, even as you move into your degree. If you have questions, we know a lot of those answers too. And we'll try to answer everything we can. We will stay here for around another 40 minutes and try to answer as many questions as we can. Okay.
Yeah. So there are some support systems for students with disabilities. I can't find the website right now. So if you send us a direct message with this question, a member of our team will send you the URL.
Okay. Fabulous. Okay. So what is the difference between Ensign College and BYU-Pathway, and how do those all relate together, Brooke?
Love it. Great question. So BYU-Pathway is the access provider. So we are there to provide support, mentors, scholarships, advising. All of those opportunities come through BYU-Pathway. And then Ensign College and BYU-Idaho are the degree granting institutions. So they're providing the courses, the instructors, and then the accreditation. So both Ensign College and BYU-Idaho are great options. So if you're wondering, well, what's the difference between BYU-Idaho and Ensign College? It's really what courses are offered. So about half of our degrees are accredited through BYU-Idaho and the other half through Ensign College.
Yeah, and like I think Ensign College, they're a little more practical because they're the business
applied
college. Yeah, a little more applied.
Yeah.
So do you know which degrees come from which?
So the communication degree comes through Ensign College, as well as I want to say it's information technology or web development. One of the technology comes through Ensign College and the other through BYU-Idaho.
Okay.
BYU-Idaho also does the applied business degree, human and family relations, and professional studies.
So they're just a little different.
Yep.
Yeah, just a little different offerings. Okay, keep those questions coming. We are trying to get to these as quickly as possible. This is kind of a follow-up about, I think, the graduation question earlier. How can I apply? I'm over 18, but I'm still in 11th grade.
Okay, so you are going to just put in your information. So
because you're over 18.
Because you're over 18. So you can go to byupathway.edu, and in the upper right-hand corner, you can click apply for free and start your application. And then you will include, you'll use your church account information if you have one to log in. If you don't have a church account, you'll create one for free and be able to get started there. And then any of your church information, so your birthday, your email, anything that's sort of stored there, we'll pull in as well.
Fabulous. Okay, next question says, hey, I'm having difficulty registering for some courses, some prerequisites. It says there's not enough seats. What can be done if it already says there's not enough seats?
Great question. That I actually don't know the answer to. So you've stumped me, which I'm so sorry that I don't know the answer. So if you can send us a direct message, I'm also going to take your question and send it to a colleague right now and see if we can get an answer for you before we log off. But that is frustrating for sure. So we will do our best to get you an answer on why you're not able to register. I know last week we were having some issues with degree planner and the degree audit. Those have been resolved. So I'm so sorry that you're having trouble registering. We will do our best to get an answer. So I'm going to send a message real fast to a colleague.
Okay. While Brooke is doing that, I'm going to go ahead and just remind everyone who's joining us to put your question in the chat. Sometimes it can take up to 15 minutes for us to get to the questions. We jump back and forth between Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Try to kind of go back and forth so that everybody gets answered pretty quickly. Real quick reminder that today is the priority deadline. That means it's the priority deadline for Pathway Connect. If you are trying to enter BYU, Idaho, or Ensign College, this is the hard deadline to start that application. So you do need to start it today. You do not need to finish it. You have a couple of weeks to finish it before classes start, but you do need to get it started. And getting it started takes just a couple of minutes. You don't have to get that far down to have it considered started. So Oh, there we go. There we go. I think we've caught up now.
Okay.
Okay. So this is another question. This is, I think, a different one. Is it possible to add a course that is full on the first day? I just completed 103 and registered for a class, but I couldn't get into one of them.
So depends. If someone drops, you can go in and pick one up. Similar to if you're a campus student, you can sort of be almost on like the wait list and sort of tag in when someone drops the class. So I would just keep your eyes open for that and see if there becomes an opening.
Okay. Are you good? Are you back with us?
Almost. Okay. I'm trying to remember.
This is the same question, Brooke. We're having the same question about spots not being available. That sounds like we need to ask somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you everyone who's told us that they've had problems getting into a class. We are going to ask specifically and see if there's an issue that we do not know about.
Yep.
Okay. All right, we're gonna jump over to Instagram questions. We've asked that one. We want to talk about, well, this question says, please comment about English courses after BYU Pathway. So maybe we're talking about English Connect here.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
okay.
So a couple of options. Sorry, I'm just adding one other person to this chat.
A couple of options before you begin Pathway Connect, and I don't know if this is what the question is about. And during Pathway Connect, we have students who also take English Connect to support their professional English levels as they are working towards finishing that degree and then being able to enter into the workforce.
Yeah, so you can participate in English Connect throughout your time as a BYU Pathway student. We have some students who score high enough on the English language exam that they are ready for BYU Pathway, but they want to just continue to refine their skills, better their understanding and comprehension. And so they continue to take English Connect while enrolled with BYU Pathway. So that is absolutely an option. We also have a certificate, if that's what you might be referencing, called Teaching English as a Foreign Language. Which is a great option for so many students. We actually were just in the Ivory Coast a couple weeks ago, and we're able to meet a student who has a certificate in teaching English as a foreign language and a certificate in entrepreneurship, and started their own business doing private English lessons. So pretty cool. Okay. And the website on the screen right now, byupathway.edu/degree/program-list, is where you can go to see a full list of all of the programs BYU Pathway offers.
Okay, so someone's saying today is the deadline for what, Brooke?
If you are a BYU, to enroll in BYU Idaho or Ensign College online. So if you have finished Pathway Connect 103 and you have a 3.0 or higher and you're ready to go on to BYU Idaho or Ensign College online, or if you want to go directly to BYU Idaho or Ensign College online, today is the last day to start your application. Now you're going to have a couple of weeks to finish that application, so you can still do your ecclesiastical endorsement, you can submit your credits for transfer, all of that, you'll still have time, but the application has to be started by today.
Okay, can we apply from India?
Yes.
Okay, any restrictions or anything we need to know about?
So in certain parts of the Middle East or sort of Southeast Asia, you need to be a member of the church. I don't believe India is one of those places. It's primarily the Middle East. So you're going to go to byupathway.edu, and in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to click apply for free. So we would love to have you. Come on over.
Awesome. We have somebody named Christine on Facebook who is helping answer all sorts of great questions.
Well, Christine, thank you.
Christine, thank you for all of your help. I can see that you're answering questions and helping us out as we work to answer those also. So we appreciate everybody's help in the chat.
Yes.
Is there a link for the endorsement? Because my bishop couldn't find it in the system. So you have to request the endorsement from you do that. Do we have the website for that, Brooke Candy?
I
know that it changed, right?
It did. So let me just, I think I know what it is, but I'm going to test it myself real fast.
Okay, we're going to look and see if we have the link. So the way that the endorsement works is that, like, as a student, I would go on and start my application through BYU Idaho or Ensign College. And there is a link in that application that says or start your endorsement. You click on that and that sends a request to your bishop. It's linked into your church account because you would be logged in. And then you don't wait for your bishop to call you. You set up through his secretary an appointment, and it takes 7 minutes, the whole appointment. It's really fast. And then that request is then escalated up to like a branch president or a stake president level, and they do essentially the same questions. And then that gets kind of submitted back into the school system.
Yeah.
Brooke is looking to see if she has the correct URL. It changed this last year, so we are looking that up real quick. Again, put your questions in the chat. If you happen to have the answer to somebody else's question, feel free to answer for us. We're just here to help facilitate answers for everybody. Okay.
We sure are. So this looks like it's specific to BYU now.
Okay, so I believe it is as part of your application to the school when you go to register. If you cannot find it, Raphael, please, send us a message and we'll try to hunt that down. But I do think it's just part of, like, if you're replying to BYU Idaho's
Sorry, we're trying to find a direct URL to give you. So we are just.
But I don't know which one that is. I can leave that available for a minute, Brooke. We can leave that question up. If you want to do BYU Pathway and you don't have the technology, are there any resources to kind of get that technology, Brooke, or what are kind of where do we point people?
Yeah. So BYU Pathway directly doesn't have any resources, but depending on what part of the world you're in, there are some different NGOs or non-governmental organizations that will help students receive a laptop or a cell phone or a tablet to help with school. And so if you can share a little bit more information with us, send us a direct message on Facebook and we'll see if there's anything that we can share. BYU Pathway doesn't have anything directly, but there are some different NGOs around the world that we're aware of that work with students.
Perfect. Christine says she's a mentor.
Oh, awesome, Christine.
We love
That's
it.
so great.
You're always welcome to join our lives.
Yes.
We love having a little extra help in the chat. Okay, so we're looking for the link for the endorsement. The next question is
okay.
Brooke has an answer about this one.
One? So I just got a message that I'm going to send Darby the URL that we're going to put it up on the screen. So 1 second.
Thanks everyone for being patient. We're
trying to real-time answer.
We're trying to real-time answer and try to get everybody's questions here. Okay, so if you're just joining us, do put your questions in the chat. It can take about 5 or 6, maybe 7 minutes to get through those. We're going pretty fast today.
So it's going to be through your application. So it's degreeapplication.byupathway.org is where you're going to go. And as part of your application for BYU Idaho and Ensign College, that's where you're going to submit and request your ecclesiastical endorsement.
Okay. Here, let's go. We've got how about this question, Brooke? Can you?
Yeah. Is there a possibility to have a legally paper that proves someone's ability to speak English after Pathway Connect or else certificates and degrees? So there's not a legal paper that we offer, but I would say if you get a certificate in teaching English as a foreign language, that would showcase that you have a really good command of the English language and you are prepared and have been successful enough to teach English as a foreign language. And then I would say that you can show just your regular, any certificate or degree that you've gotten, that it is from a U.S. accredited institution where all of your classes are in English. So I think just by nature of receiving a certificate or degree and to be able to say, hey, this university is based in the United States and all of their coursework is done in English would be enough.
Love it. Okay. Financial aid. Okay, so this is a good question. We have 2 really amazing scholarships. First one is Heber J. Grant. I'll get that pulled up on the screen, Brooke. You give your best Heber J. Grant spiel.
I love it. Okay, so we have some really great donors that want to make education even more affordable and accessible for our students. And so after you enroll, but before you pay your tuition, you have the chance to do the Heber J. Grant tuition discount module. That is a mouthful. But what that means,
it's on our screen.
I love it, is that you have access to 10, 25, or 50% off during your time as a student. This tuition discount is applicable for all students. You are not taking anything away from a student by taking advantage of the Heber J. Grant tuition discount. So everyone who applies, everyone who does the module is going to get at least 10% off, but could receive up to 50% off. So that is one fabulous tuition discount. That tuition discount is good for a couple of years, and then we have students reapply. If something has changed drastically in your life and your ability to pay tuition has changed, you can also work with your mentor. There's an additional Mentor Bridge scholarship. That's a one-time tuition discount. So you would work with your mentor to learn a little bit more about that. If even after Heber J. Grant and other things are, you're unable to finish paying tuition. So that's one. The other is the recently returned missionary tuition discount.
This one's really cool.
It's awesome.
Because you don't have to even apply.
You don't.
Okay, so who does it apply for?
Yeah, so anyone who's recently returned home from a full-time mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So if you were wherever you are serving in the world, if you are a full-time young missionary, you have access to this. So it is 25% off, and it's good for 5 years from the day you return home from your mission. So, I love a good example. So let's say you got home 6 months ago and you're ready to start school. You can enroll, and you would have 4.5 years left of this 25% tuition discount. And it is good during Pathway Connect. It's good during online certificates and degrees. So you have this really great opportunity to take advantage of both the recently returned missionary tuition discount and the Heber J. Grant tuition discount.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who's returned home from a mission in the last 5 years qualifies for at least 35% off.
Okay.
Hard to beat.
Okay. We've got some questions that are about 12 minutes old. We're going to try to get through these.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Can I attend class and do the assignments if it's for Pathway Connect, can I do it on my tablet or in my phone?
Yes.
How about for when they move on to BYU, Idaho, or Ensign?
It gets a little more complicated. We have seen students do it, but a laptop or tablet is really necessary for online certificates and degrees. But we've seen people be successful in Pathway Connect with a phone or tablet, and even on to online certificates and degrees. It's just a little bit harder because you're writing essays and the type of assignments you're doing. It's difficult to do on a phone.
Okay. We are working really hard. We're going to switch over to some Instagram questions.
Okay.
Here's a question about, I'm studying at BYU, Idaho, and I asked if it would be beneficial for me to switch to the 3-year degree, but nobody gave me an answer yet. So.
Okay, great question. So if you are you're studying online through BYU, Idaho, there's going to be a couple of different things to look at if switching to the 3-year degree is a good option for you. So depending on how far you are into your degree program, how many electives you've already taken, and what you have left to take. And so I'm sorry that you had an appointment with an advisor and they didn't give you an answer or didn't show up. That's really frustrating. So I would say if you have not taken any of your elective classes yet, switching to the 3-year degree could be a great option, because essentially what the 3-year degree does is eliminate electives. So it really focuses in on that core curriculum for your degree, your general education, and your religion classes. So I would say if you haven't taken any of your electives, and depending on what your degree is in, switching is probably a good choice.
Yeah.
But if you want to send us a direct message, we'd be happy to try to learn a little bit more about some of the nuances you have.
Okay. So we kind of had like we had like another question just about that also, about kind of having a hard time getting a hold of somebody. Same question. We have a webinar that we just did about the 3-year degree, which has a lot of information that might answer your question. And they can find that on YouTube or Facebook. Yes.
So I want to say it was like February 13th.
Yeah, it was like about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. So we did do those 3-year degrees. And then the other thing that I would say is, if you have talked to your mentor and they're trying to get you into the advisors, I know there's a lot of people that are interested in making that switch to the 3-year degree. So there might be a little bit of backlog.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can send us a direct message with this information, we will do our best to try to get you connected to the right people and to get an answer for you.
Okay. And I was going to see if I could see when that webinar was. That's a spring one. That's too old. Okay, we're going to find it.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for all of your questions. We are still rolling through these here. Okay, I applied through the church's website and they said they'd hit me back up. Should I follow up or keep waiting?
So tell me more about what you applied for. So if you applied for BYU-Pathway, you should have applied for BYU-Pathway through our website, not the church's website. So byupathway.edu.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could give us a little bit more information, that would be helpful.
Okay. Fabulous, Brooke. We're going to keep cruising here. I registered for a degree course, but it's not showing up in the student portal. That is beyond our skill set. Okay, so what should we have them do?
So send us a direct message and we'll find out.
Okay. Okay, we're going to switch over and answer. So this is just a question about attending graduation in person. If I complete the 3-year degree, can I attend graduation
Of course.
right there if I'm from the Philippines? Yeah, we have people from
Yeah.
all over the world who come and
Yeah,
attend graduation.
we met some people from the Philippines last year. So yeah, any student is welcome to come and walk and participate in their graduation through BYU Idaho or Ensign College.
Okay.
So we're actually going to be in Rexburg next week.
We sure are. It's going to be fabulous. We'll share a lot of fun stuff from that. Can I apply from Nigeria? Yes.
Yeah. byupathway.edu. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to click apply for free. And that will take you to our admissions page where you'll learn a little bit more and can get that application started.
Perfect. Keep your questions coming. We've got about another 15 minutes. Okay. How do I register? We're going to answer that one really quick because it's really easy, and I'll pull up that URL.
Perfect. So you're going to go to byupathway.edu, and in the upper right-hand corner, you'll click apply for free. This will take you to our admissions page, and then you can start your application there. That you'll click on a button, and then it will open up for you to log into your church account. If you have a church account, great. You'll just log right in. If you don't have one, you can create a free account. It's similar to if you ever log into Google. So it's creating a single sign-on. So you'll log in using that. And then the application itself, if you are a native English speaker, will take 10 to 15 minutes. It's pretty fast. If you are not a native English speaker, you will need to take a free English language exam. And that's really just designed to help you know what kind of English you should be prepared for, to make sure that you have the academic experience to succeed. We want you to have a great experience. And so you will take that. And if you don't get a qualifying score the first time you take it, you'll start with English Connect, which is another tremendous program provided by the church. And it's pretty simple. So if you have questions, or if you have a friend or family member that needs help learning English, English Connect is an amazing resource. That webinar for 3-year degrees was on February 23rd.
February 23rd. If you are curious or interested in learning more about the 3-year degree. And we had some experts there who know a lot about it.
Yes.
Brooke and I know enough to answer questions.
Yeah.
But we don't know everything that goes into that. Okay, we have a campus question about coming to study on campus. If somebody wants to study on campus, what do they need to do, Brooke?
Yeah. So you'll need to contact the university that you're interested in studying on campus for. We do not provide BYU-Pathway is not a means to come to the United States. And so if you are interested in becoming a campus student anywhere, you'll need to work with that individual university. We're not familiar with the requirements. And so you'll need to visit BYU, BYU-Idaho, Ensign College, wherever it may be, to learn more about what their requirements are to be a campus student.
Perfect. And we just had another question about that from Instagram. So I'm going to let that be the answer for that also. Great. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to keep moving here. So certificate courses can also be taught through Zoom. So you can, I think this might be an answer to somebody else's question. Yeah, so everything is online.
Yep. All classes are available. So there are a few places if you wanted to do your Pathway Connect gathering in person, you can do that. But it is really designed to be able to do BYU Pathway online anywhere you have a Wi-Fi connection.
Yep. Can you take classes for the first certificate during the first semester? So during Pathway Connect 101, you do not take a certificate course, and you do not do that during 102.
No.
But you do that during 103.
Yep. So it's that second semester of school is when you start your first certificate class.
Yeah. And that's really designed, I don't know for sure, but it's really to kind of get you set up in kind of the online learning experience. Yeah. If you started with that certificate course right away, that would probably feel pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because everything's fairly new. And it doesn't take too long till you get to that point.
Nope. Yeah. You're taking your first certificate class by week 15 of your degree.
Yeah. So it is right away. Okay. Okay. So, hey, I finished Pathway Connect and I applied for BYU Idaho, and I'm having a hard time registering. Who can I talk to? Is there a way to get a hold of somebody?
Yeah.
How can they get a hold of somebody?
So the best thing to do is to start with your mentor. And so as a enrolled student, you have a mentor that's assigned to you. So you can go to byupathway.edu. In the lower right-hand corner, you can click, need help, chat with us. And you'll log in, and then you can say, who's my mentor? and then you will get their contact information, and your mentor can help you with seeing if there's any issues with registering, what's happening. So your mentor is the best person to reach out to. If your mentor is unresponsive, unable to help, then you can send us a direct message. But your mentor is often the best person, best positioned to help you.
Okay, perfect. Another question about studying in person. Yeah, so BYU-Pathway is not designed to help people study in person. You would need to talk to the university to get an estimated cost of living for the city that you would be living in and the tuition rate that you would be paying.
Yep.
Okay, gathering question. Good morning. What about the gathering sessions? Do I choose online or in person?
Yeah. So it's going to be up to you and what you have going on. So if you want to join an in-person gathering, you can absolutely do that. There are a fair number of places around the world that still offer an in-person gathering, and then the rest is online. So it's really up to you. When you go to register, you'll be able to see the online and in-person options that are available for your area.
Perfect. Does BYU-Pathway offer master's programs, Brooke?
We don't.
We do not. Just up to bachelor's.
Just up to bachelor's. Yep. Certificates, associates, and bachelor's degrees.
And do we have a physical campus?
So BYU-Pathway does not have a physical campus, but Brigham Young University has one in Provo, Utah. BYU Idaho has one in Rexburg, Idaho. Ensign College is in Salt Lake City, Utah, and BYU Hawaii is in Laie, Hawaii. Yep. So there are physical campuses, but not for BYU-Pathway.
Yep. Everywhere is our campus.
Everywhere. Wherever you are is our campus.
Okay, so what if somebody is interested in like what kind of job opportunities, like what's available for a student who's studying all over the world? Yeah,
great question. So BYU-Pathway, to be a student employee of the university, you actually need to live in Utah or Idaho. It's just a legal constraint, but there are lots of vendors. There's a career development team that we're working with that is working really hard to make additional opportunities, partnering with universities around the world, and to try to help students receive job opportunities. And so BYU-Pathway is really designed to help you gain the skills and confidence for either local employment, entrepreneurship, if you're interested in starting your own business, or be prepared for remote work. So there are lots of opportunities. So stay tuned. We'll have announcements in the weekly update for students and in your student portal as different opportunities become available.
Fabulous. Okay, we've got, I think, 4 more questions, and then we're going to take a break. Brooke and I will be doing more lives later today because today is what we call the priority deadline, which means if you're enrolling in Pathway Connect, this is like the best date to enroll by to make sure that you have a secured spot. Yep. If you're starting your degree through BYU Idaho or Ensign College, you need to start your application by today. So we'll be back to answer a lot of questions, but I think we have about 4 more that I wanted to get to before we take a break. So return missionary discount, how do I claim it?
So if you, it's just part of your student portal. So your missionary service should be tagged to your church account. And so when you go to enroll, we'll note that and see that you are a recently returned missionary. Now, if there's any issues or you're not seeing this tuition discount on your student portal, please let us know, but it should be automatically applied.
Okay, service missionaries too. Young
service missionaries, absolutely. They also qualify for the recently returned missionary tuition discount.
Perfect. How do I get the certificate? So if you have finished Pathway Connect, that certificate is not mailed, but is available in your student portal. You'll just log in, and there's a little symbol of a person. I mean, it's like
shoulders up,
kind of like person. You click on that, and you'll be able to download and print your certificate at home.
Yeah.
Now the other certificates are mailed.
Yes.
But they can take a while.
Yes. So your BYU Idaho and Ensign College certificates, those are mailed, but it can take, like Darby said, a while. It can take, 6 to 12 weeks before it gets to you. So depending on where you live in the world, how close you are to the mailing site, how easy it is to find your address. I know there's certain parts of the world where there's not really physical addresses in most places. So you get to choose where it's mailed to. So if you want it to be mailed to a family member or a friend, that is also an option. But it will take 6 to 12 weeks before it'll get there.
Martins, I saw you just put this in. Will you give us a little more information, and we'll come back to this question in just a minute?
Yep.
Okay, what are the requirements needed? The requirements needed to enroll,
I love
got to
it.
be 18
Yep,
or
18 or older or graduated.
or graduated from secondary school.
Yep.
So that's really about it.
Yeah, but you can be like, if you finish, so there's certain parts of the world where you finish secondary school or high school when you're 16 or 17. If you have that diploma, you can start.
Yeah.
So you can get ready. And if English is not your native language, you will need to take a free English language assessment as part of the application. But truly, that's about it. As long as you don't have a major criminal history, you're in.
Yeah.
We want to help as many people as possible get their degree.
Okay. Question. I started Pathway Connect in 2019 and finished in 2020.
Awesome.
I paused in between.
We're gonna
Okay. Let me reread that here.
Okay.
Curriculum change, and I was required
to complete Pathway Connect 101 and 102. Now on degree PC 103 is listed as required. So you do have to take Pathway Connect 103 in order to transition to BYU Idaho or Ensign College online. So if you want to send us a direct message, we're happy to try to get some answers for you. But that is a requirement. Finishing Pathway Connect 101, 102, 103. If you want to keep that Pathway Connect price. So that's one of the other differences between Pathway Connect and BYU Idaho and Ensign College online. So when you start with Pathway Connect, you sort of lock in that tuition rate. Whatever the rate is for Pathway Connect in your country is what you will pay for your online degree program. If you go directly into BYU Idaho or Ensign College, there's one price worldwide. And so that would be a significant difference. But if you want to send us a direct message, we're happy to try to help answer questions and help you out. So if you have finished Pathway Connect 101 or 102 previously, you should be able to just pick right back up at 103. And so we want to help you the best that we can. So please send us a direct message.
Okay. Last few questions here, Brooke.
Yeah.
If I don't feel like I have enough English to study, what can I do?
I love it. So English Connect is a great program. So if you go to englishconnect.org, this website is in lots of languages. So you should be able to visit the page in your native language or your first language. And English Connect is designed to help you prepare for educational opportunities like BYU-Pathway, for job opportunities and additional service. So please make sure English Connect is awesome. You can get enrolled and start with English Connect this semester. So that application period is open until the 29th of April. So go in and get your application started for English Connect. It will be the best preparation for English for BYU-Pathway.
Okay. I still don't have a follow-up for Martin, so put your follow-up in the chat and we'll try to answer there. Brooke and I will be back this evening.
The only thing that I would say is if the person isn't seeing the option to continue to BYU Idaho or Ensign College, it's possible that they didn't meet the requirements to transition to BYU Idaho or Ensign College online. So you need to have a 3.0 or a B average in Pathway Connect, and then you need to have completed your certificate course. So you don't have to get a specific grade in that certificate course, but that grade will continue with you to BYU Idaho or Ensign College. So you want to make sure you're taking that class seriously, but you do need to finish it in order to move on to BYU Idaho or Ensign College online.
Okay, last question, Brooke. I lied.
Okay.
What scholarships are available for online degree students?
I love it. So there's two that are available. So one is the Heber J. Grant tuition discount. This is available for all students worldwide. It's 10, 25, or 50% off. It is a needs-based tuition discount. So depending on what's happening in your life, you're going to get at least 10% off, up to 50% off. So after you enroll, before you pay your tuition is when we recommend you do this. And this is available for all students worldwide. So if you're a current student and never filled this out, please go do it. We want to make sure you get a chance to take advantage of this tuition discount. You're not taking a spot away from anyone else. And so you'll have access to that. The other is for anyone who has recently returned home from a mission. So if you have returned home in the last 5 years and you've served a young full-time mission, whether you were a service missionary, full-time missionary, doesn't matter, one and the same, you serve in a mission. And so we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to take advantage of this 25% off. It's good for 5 years from the day you return home from your mission.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to wrap up our live for now. We'll be back later with more. You've got questions?
We've got answers.
See ya.
Bye.